All right, yeah, I'm just doing this video. I think I did one last week's after the live stream. I kind of like doing I don't know, a recap or how I felt about it or whatever, and also try to connect it with thoughts that have been going on with the grand campaign and the way things are starting to feel like they're clicking. It's going to maybe take quite a while. I think just, I don't know, maybe about half an hour ago, I realized, you know what, like I was trying to like come up with a timeline of how to do things. And I think originally I wanted to start doing the grand campaign in March. But I did realize, I was like, look, let's be realistic in a good way. When I started looking at everything that I want to do and to do it properly, and even with my streamlining thing, thank God I took notes because, or wrote down some notes because I know the way my train of thought goes. It tries to find every way of getting off the rails, which it just did now. Jesus Christ. What was I talking about? The grand campaign. Yeah, see, I'm having a hard time. Better get back to this. So this live stream. Anyways, yeah. So the way I take forever to do things. I think what I'm going to do is I'm setting the beginning of when I'm going to do the grand campaign for the first day in August of when it's World War I started. I think for 2023. That makes sense to me. I've still going to take me ages, it seems, to just finish out this freaking intro, that like beginning game that I did. And then I'm going to start wrapping my head around properly the game with Ken. And that is going to be a... Wow, that is just... how do I feel? I almost feel like it's like you're going into master's, like you're taking a master's degree. Even though, like I'm saying, I'm like kindergarten land of whatever in gaming, but I'm just saying, like, it's just going to be such a like whoa, obviously, because I'm dealing with another human being. It's no longer solo and so on and so forth. It's not just that, but it's just like just the sheer volume of whatnot. Daunting, yes, but like I said, I've already made some moves and whatnot. It's just I realized this, like, look, man, at the rate you're going, you need to like. And the way the amount of time I need to focus on things, it's like, you just can't do this, that, and the other thing at the same time. You just can't, man. And work and so on and so forth. It's not going to happen. Anyways, let's get back to the live stream. I think the live stream's working fantastic. Hopefully next week I'm going to send out an email extremely quickly to the World War I Museum. If that doesn't work, I'm still going to we're still going to do a proper episode. And yet again, people, don't feel like, I'm not saying you do. Don't feel compelled to like talk about whatever. Use the forum, like use the live stream the way you for you, man, as well. Like for Pete's, like, oh well, you obviously are. But what I'm saying is, it's like I'm just the facilitator. I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I popped this on to hopefully maybe you would see a little bit of the map without so much of the glare. Let's get to my notes because it seems like I'm going off into Wonderland again. So yeah. Oh, and I think when I went for a walk after another live stream forum that I like to go on Saturday afternoons. And I went for a walk. Unfortunately, there's way too many cars zipping around on the pathway that I like to go to. So I was like, well, maybe I'll go like at 1 or 2 in the morning. There'll be no one around. But when I was walking back, and I was thinking, I need to chit chat with Zoe again about, excuse me, about journal making, so on and so forth. And I was like, you know what? We also need to start getting into like the timeline. That's why I got into August of starting the grand campaign, and then streamlining, which I was like, wow, this ties in with the streamlining of the counters that you've been doing, and start streamlining the information, like maximize the amount of information you can get out in video posts, still get the grand campaign out, and still have people go, okay, I don't have to watch, because there's no bloody way. If you think I'm doing, it's impossible. No one's, I mean, you can't physically be able to watch and also record every freaking, especially the rate I go, that's insane. So what I've decided to do is, I'm like, wait a minute, you love watching, oh my God. If you have not watched The Great War, the World War One documentary, where the guy went week by week, for fucking sakes, man. That, I wish I had watched it back then, but I wasn't into this back then. Unflippin' believable. Even has like some behind the scenes stuff and whatever. Excuse me. And I'm like, why not emulate these type of things? Like when you see the behind the things stuff, I'm saying once he got his system going, he was clicking. But there was not a lot, yeah, and he had a team, I understand that. But I'm saying there's going to be ways for me to streamline the information. So I was like, wait a minute, I'm like, start looking at it like a documentary. Use the grand campaign, and I think I've already alluded to that many times. So most of the information will be documentary oriented in multimedia formats. So I certainly want to go to that way. And also, like I said, I want to start doing diaries and blah, 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 and journal, whatever. Present a lot of that stuff and then, get into the specifics. And also have like a bifocal approach again, the way I've also, like I've mentioned about looking at the map. Sometimes you can look at it from a very operational to strategic level, Der Weltkrieg, excuse me, and then drop down again when you want to start getting into the specifics. And I was like, well, why not look at it in a weirdo way, bifocal wise, that way, when you want to get the information out and like what's going on with the entire thing is you can still have the documentary approach to get out the basic stuff, like what happened in this week and so on and so forth. And then when there are major attacks, major battles or an offensive or whatever, so you can still get into that a little bit more, but then you can flip it on the bifocal aspect and still talk about, okay, now we're going to start talking about Der Weltkrieg or a rule about the naval bits, because I can guarantee you, man, first of all, this is a freaking old game. And secondly, how many people do you actually think played the Grand Campaign or actually not only, I'm even saying, even dipped their toes in it? I can guarantee you not a heck of a lot of people. They probably bought the game and that was about it. They probably did as much as I did. Open the box and that was it. I'm not dissing anyone. I'm just saying that's just reality. I mean, like, you've only got so much time in your life. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Let's take a look at any other notes to see if I've, whatever. Document. Oh, yeah. And yet again, like I said, I'm going to be like documenting. The bifocal approach. Or I should say a three-pronged approach towards what I want to do with Der Weltkrieg and my enjoyment of gameplay. So I'm going to do the Grand Campaign, which is going to be obviously not very Der Weltkrieg-ish in many ways, but I'm still going to try to go, okay, here's Der Weltkrieg, here's some official rules or whatever. But I'm also going to be doing some official stuff because I'm going to be playing with Ken, and that's going to be taking it. Trust me, that's going to be a long game. It's not like some whatever. And I still want to do the Caporetto Italian front stuff because that's going to help me a lot with developing skills later on. And then, and then I've got the live streams, obviously. And then the third thing is going to be I want to archive, collate, transcribe, whatever the heck I can, as much information for this game system for other people in whatever limited capacity I can do. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm a freaking whatever, Mr. Der Weltkrieg, obviously not. But I would like to throw my penny in or whatever the heck you'd, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but that's it. And like I said, at least I've got this approach going. Oh, and let's go back to LiveStream land. If you've got some recommendations or whatever, like I'm even thinking, because it happened by accident, I didn't expect that to happen when I was doing a test of one of my live streams, and I put it on live because I didn't know how, like public or whatever, and people popped up. Like we're like, had notifications, obviously, or whatever, and I was like, holy, this is so ultra cool. And I obviously got a proper test, and I was thinking, wait a minute, maybe every once in a while I'll just pop it on and somebody appears out of nowhere. Well, they appear out of nowhere. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it's no big, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying don't, whatever. Okay, and then on the flip side, I have no idea what is going on with this strategic map thing. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. It looks like, is this like some kind of way of getting supply, or like from a very remote location eventually? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. Well, I don't know anything. But, sorry. Does it mean these weird... It's got these weird arrows and stuff, and... But it seems to be tied in, obviously, with a map. I think it's a lot better over there. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. You can't really see it. But, you see what I mean? Like, oops. See this weird... So I don't know if is that like some kind of weird like way for him to have decide. I'm trying to avoid you seeing any. Oh my God, there goes the video. I better stop. All right, that's it. As in, I saw the battery about to just lose its freaking mind. I'll try to just put it up one more time so we can see the beautiful things. All right.